DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. We are proudly presented by Black Desert Resort, Utah's premier golf resort. Joined now by Rob Cuff, Executive Director of the Utah High School Activities Association. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, DJ.
I hope you've had your downtime, your rest and relaxation in June after May when there seems like there's a state champion crowned every day. Six classes times I don't know how many sports. I've lost track.
We had 48 state championships in 17 days in May.
That's what I'm talking about. So I hope you had some well-deserved time off to lay by a pool, lay on the sand, or hit the links, whatever it is you do. Go to the cabin in the mountains with no Wi-Fi, whatever it is, and you're rested and rejuvenated because it's go time, Rob.
It is go time, and July's kind of a nice month for that too. But June, we're just kind of still putting together and putting away some of the things from the last school year. But we're anxiously engaged in the start of a whole new season, whole new school year.
There are a few stories out there. Some of them are stories that never really go away. And I wanted to talk to you about them. And I know one thing you've been working on is a new transfer policy. I was talking to another member of the local sports media who follows high school football even more closely than I do, and he was telling me last year, and he started going into this game of transfers. Well, this player left school B to go to school A. This quarterback left school C to go to B and replace him. This quarterback left, oh my gosh. It felt like college football. Now, I know you get a lot of gripes about that. I know if your rules sometimes draw the attention of parents who have lawyers, so that's a blast. And I know you revisited these. Where do you stand on transfers now? Because there's a lot of parents leaning into their radio to hear this.
Yeah, so a year ago our board really looked at and dissected again our transfer rule, and we had a lot of exceptions, I would guess. That's the best way to put it. But then if you didn't meet an exception, then you had to set out a full year of varsity. Well, last year our rule changed to where we have very few exceptions, but the restriction is the most that you would miss on a first transfer after you've established eligibility as 50% of the season of any sport that you didn't play the varsity of the year or play the year before. So basically now there are two exceptions. The exceptions are a full family move that is documented and certified by the sending and the receiving school, and then also a certified investigation that happens at the sending school that certifies the student to be eligible to transfer. Those would give 100% eligibility on the transfer rule. Any other reason would be 50%.
Another issue that you face, and I think people are always curious when you realign, which you used to every 4 years and now you do every 2. It looks like some of the schools that have really been elite athletically have been grouped together. There's 4 to 6 schools that have kind of ruled in some of these sports, Corner Canyon, Lehigh, Sky Ridge, Lone Peak, AF, maybe at times Pleasant Grove or Bingham, but not so much there. It looks like you've grouped some of those schools together, and I've talked to a couple principals at schools where there's real poverty. And one former principal, he was active when he told me this, he said they're doing a better job of using the number of kids who are on free and reduced lunch, the kids who live in poverty. He says those kids don't play club sports. They're not as advanced athletically. They haven't gotten as much coaching. And another principal told me when they just go on population, half my kids work to support their family and pay the bills, and they're not going to play sports. So our coaches are drawn from maybe more of a 3A or 4A talent pool in terms of numbers than a 5A and 6A school, which is where that school had been. And I think, talking in the past, that your attitude and the attitude of the board has kind of been evolving over time. Where do you stand on how you group teams in regions? Because travel's another thing you hear a lot about.
Yep. Travel's another big factor, geography. Our board does the realignment of member schools every 2 years. It used to be a 4-year process, and what they found in the 4-year process is that enrollments change a great deal over that amount of time. So now the realignment is done every 2 years, which means that once one alignment goes into effect, we're already looking at the next alignment. the primary factor over the years has been enrollment, as you mentioned, but there have been other factors that have entered in the last few years, including demographics, free and reduced lunch, success factor. This past alignment, success factor was used more than ever before. And so I think in to your point and to your question, regions are developed by our board as well as the classifications. And what they've done is they've grouped some schools of similar demographics together to compete in regions. Obviously, state championships are different than region championships, but it gives students an opportunity to go after those region championships in a way that they feel competitive, and it's enjoyable for them to compete and know that they can compete on a day-to-day basis.
State championships have changed in the 30-plus years I've been here. When I got here, I found out, they take the top 4 teams. There's 4 regions in a class, 16-team playoff, and away we go. And the Tuesday play-in games were brand new to me. And certainly when there was a 3-way tie and 2 teams would play a half, and the loser was out, and after halftime a new team was in, and they played 2 quarters of a football game to see who went in. I'd never seen anything like that. But again, you've evolved over time, and now the state tournament's open to everyone. They're just a small handful of teams and a couple of classes that don't go. How has that been received now that schools have had a few years to sample that, whether it's football, basketball? Is it received the same way in every sport?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're talking about the RPI and what we do to seed and give ratings and seedings to team sports more than anything else. And basically, as you said before, a real strong region may only send 4 of their teams, and 2 teams would be left out when you take 4 per region. Now it gives everybody an opportunity to be in the RPI. And I think the only schools that don't get to enter the state tournament would be those classifications that have more than 24, because they do a 24 bracket for those team sports in Class 5A, and the other one would be 4A. And so basically it's received differently. Obviously, it's how it affects a school, is how they're going to react to it. But I think it's much better than the old system. I think everyone would agree to that to give the opportunity to get a seed. We often kid with our schools that, we're not going to give hardware for the number 1 seed. You've got to still play the tournament. You still got to go through it. And an example of baseball this year, we had a 20 seed win the 5A state baseball championship, Spanish sport, and that's the lowest seed that we've ever had win a state championship. I think before that it was like an 11 or a 12 in soccer. And so we have had examples where lower seeds have won the state tournaments, and it gives them an opportunity to reset when they go into the brackets and be able to then have a whole new season, and everybody's 0-0. But there's still those that want the higher seed because they think the higher seed is going to give them automatic wins, and we've never given hardware for a number 1 seed. They've got to earn it.
There's always an issue about how many sports are sanctioned to have state championships. And you have opened up girls wrestling, boys volleyball, boys and girls lacrosse, girls golf have all been relatively recent additions to UHSAA state sanctioned tournaments for championships. So since you just had, what was the number you just gave me, 48 in 17 days? Was it 48?
Yeah, we have 48 championships just in spring alone. We have 138 championships over the course of the season.
So are you ready to add something else? Hockey, rodeo, esports? Where's this going? What's next?
Well, interesting enough, we do have conversations with some of these club sports that are out there, and some club sports like where they're at. They're not wanting to be sanctioned. Others want to be sanctioned and are growing their sport in order to do so. We have thresholds that need to be met in order for participation outside the season, in order to look at adding a new sanctioned sport. It's called our emerging sports policy. And this year, in fact, we're adding esports. You just mentioned as an activity, meaning that it's an activity similar to theater, speech and debate, music, and esports started on the college level, even more so than the high school level at first, but there's colleges giving scholarships now for esports. We've had esports as clubs in our high schools. Ken Garf has done some competitions with esports over the years, and it's been very very exciting and very well participation as far as being involved. And we're really excited about adding esports to our list of sanctioned activities for this coming year.
And beyond that, any of these other sports you're looking at? Is there anything else? Water polo?
Well, water polo is certainly one that's out there. You mentioned rodeo. With Mammoth, you've got hockey, that there's more youth hockey interest now. Mountain biking is a huge sport in Utah, and they're happy right now in being at the club level, and they get a lot of mileage out of that. Pickleball is another one that's out there that people enjoy playing, and we've even seen some of our junior highs who have converted their tennis courts into pickleball courts. So it still remains to be seen what the future holds out there, but our emerging sports policy helps guide our board into adding any future sports.
Now, you wear another hat as a member of the Utah Sports Hall of Fame, and you got a golf tournament coming up. You want to tell people about that? And for people who don't know about the Utah Sports Hall of Fame, it's at City Creek, kind of on the west side over there by Nordstrom. Explain to people what it is, what you've got, what sports fans can see, and how they can support it.
All right, let's start with the tournament. The golf tournament is a week from today on June 30th at Talon's Cove. We're still looking for foursomes. We'd love people to sign up and just get together a group and sign up on our website. Our website is utahsportshalloffame.org. This is kind of a second hat that I wear as a member of the board of directors on the Utah Sports Hall of Fame Foundation. It's a great foundation, been around for the last 60 years. We use this golf tournament to help support scholarships for college-bound Utah high school seniors, and also to fund our Hall of Fame Museum that you mentioned. If people have not been to the Hall of Fame Museum, the Utah Sports Hall of Fame, they need to go. It's an exciting museum. It's fun-filled. There's interaction there. And all the greats that have played in Utah and lived in Utah are there with information and everything for the museum. The museum is located right across on ground level from Nordstrom's in the City Creek Mall level. And the hours are Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. The admission is free. It's a great family event just to go and walk through the museum, spend as much time as you want. But again, our golf tournament helps to support and fund that museum and also the scholarships for those high school seniors. So again, we'd love to have anybody that's interested in playing at Talon's Cove next Monday. It's an 8:30 start, a 7:30 check-in. Again, the website is utahsportshalloffame.org.
You're horribly miscast at the UHSAA. You should be out here. You should be doing infomercials. You should be selling stuff. You should be making a lot more money, Rob. What are you doing working with kids? What are you thinking?
Well, I still love my job, DJ.
Okay. All right, Talon's Cove. Give them the website one more time in case, because if people are thinking, yeah, I don't want to work Monday, I should go support the Utah Sports Hall of Fame. Let's take one for the team.
Yeah, so it's utahsportshalloffame.org.
All right, there it is. Rob, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with more state championships, more sports, and please, more transfers. Nothing says high-level sports like a lot of kids transferring.
Well, we're looking forward to another school year, that's for sure. So thanks for your time today, DJ.
Hey, thank you, Rob. Good luck. Enjoy your summer.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
have a great day.
There's Rob Cuff, Executive Director of the Utah High School Activities Association, putting on a lot of state championships. But, man, that transfer part of the job, that's the thankless part of the job right there. That family really moved. So Junior could place. Oh, boy. Yeah, couldn't pay me enough to deal with all of that. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. When we come back, everything you missed in this show, we'll get you up to speed. Next, stay with us.
Now let's get this party started.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.
There are a couple of reasons that I didn't become a doctor.
Same reasons you didn't become a paleontologist?
Why do you crack a smile and then make a joke?
I'm just saying, there's a couple reasons I wasn't a lawyer. Number one, the LSAT scared me. Number two, I thought I'd fail miserably. And number three, I didn't think I was smart enough. So yeah, there are just a couple reasons why I didn't become a lawyer.
Can I make a point without you attacking me?
I'm not attacking you. You've never talked about wanting to be a doctor before. To me, this seems like you were just right on the cusp of going to medical school, and then just these one or two little things came up and made you think, no, I'm not going to do that.
Doctor.
Doctor. Doctor.
Can you not attack me? You know, it bugs me when you do that.
Doctor. Doctor. Doctor.
Stop playing that.
And doctor. Well, we miss anyone?
Catch Hanson Scotty weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Halliburton falls down. He looks hurt. Here comes SGA the other way. Inside, and Williams throws it down. Halliburton's hurt right away when he fell. Of course, that strained calf. He's in pain, so emotional. It's the right calf right away. He knew he was in trouble. Oh, you get in a situation like this, you're just sick to your stomach for the young man.
Thunder fans feel this moment. The uncommon young team proves to be unstoppable. It's over at Paycom Center. Final in Game 7. The Thunder 103, the Pacers 91. A dream realized. The storybook season is complete. The final chapter reads the Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions.
I'm not talking about his injury. I'm not giving you. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about a diagnosis or anything.
At halftime, did he say anything to the team and the way you guys kept?
He was in the locker room, and he was very much a part of a group that believed that they could do this.
It doesn't feel real. So many hours, so many moments, so many emotions, so many nights of disbelief, so many nights of belief. It's crazy to know that we're all here, but this group worked for it. This group put in the hours, and we deserve this.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, after the Thunder win the NBA title, 103-91 in 7 games. They beat the Pacers. A 7th game, they had a lot of the drama drain out of it. When Tyrese Halliburton went to the floor in the middle of the first quarter, left the game, had to be helped off the towel. It looked really emotional, and it wrecked the Pacers. It really gave them no chance to win the game. And it was tied at 56. They hung in there for a while, and T.J. McConnell was good, and he made shots, but they just didn't have enough talent. And so the Thunder, who were supposed to win it, did win it. Now, can they repeat? The question begins almost immediately. And immediately, it doesn't even look like there's good challengers. The best one, probably in Houston, a team that went out pretty quickly in the playoffs this year. They got to make a conference final, you would think, before they win it. Oh, wait, Oklahoma City didn't make a conference final before they won it all. The Warriors didn't make a conference final before they won it all. So it could be done. Houston trades for Kevin Durant, and I think they got him as inexpensively as they could. If I were thinking what's a high price they would pay for Durant, I would have thought like 3 draft picks or something. And they got, they did get the 5 second-round picks, but 3 first-round draft picks. But it turns out they only had to give up 1. They gave up the number 10 pick in this year's draft, so I thought they got off easy there. Instead of looking at the Rudy Gobert trade and the Donovan Mitchell trade and the Kevin Durant from Brooklyn trade, you have 4 and 5 draft picks moving. There's 1 pick in the first round, 5 second rounds, but 1 in the first round. It's more of a Luka Doncic type deal. Seemed like a low bar, but I think Houston measured the market well. Miami, San Antonio, Minnesota. I never thought Durant to Miami made sense. Miami's not that close. You need to be pretty close if you're going to invest in Kevin Durant at 36, and he turns 37 in September. Miami's just not close enough. And he didn't want to re-sign in Minnesota, so that kind of kills that deal because Minnesota, they just can't give up Rudy Gobert and get Durant for 1 year. That's not a good idea. I don't know if we're giving up Rudy. That's not a team full of defensive stoppers there. Well, they got a bunch of guys playing defense there who need Rudy behind them. Is it a diminished Rudy? Does he move as well as he used to? We can have that conversation. He's not getting paid like he used to, so there's that. He just signed a new 3-year. He's got a 3-year deal kicking in. He had an option year, and they gave him, I think, 3 years and almost $100 million, about $100 million, and he was going to have one at 40 or 45. So Minnesota doesn't work. Miami doesn't work. I think San Antonio has got young guys, and why invest in Durant? The future's now. Oklahoma City's got it going. Hey, let these young guys grow up, see what you need, and then commit in a couple years. And the Thunder, they are set up for the next 2 years. You look at their salaries. They got a championship. I'm sure they're thinking 3-peat in Oklahoma City. You got to repeat first and then 3-peat second. But We always talk about everything changes in sports in 3 years. Well, the Thunder have almost nobody signed for the 27-28 season. So if they want to repeat in 26 and three-peat in 27, well, the way the money is set up and the age of these guys, I mean, Caruso's the only older guy they're counting on. He's 31, and he's going into a new 4-year deal. He'll double his money and go from just under $10 million to a little over $18 million. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander signed for 2 more years, then a free agent. Isaiah Hartenstein signed for 2 more years, then a free agent. Lou Dort signed for 2 more years, then a free agent. Chet Holmgren signed for 2 more years, then he's a free agent. Jalen Williams signed for 2 more years, then he's a free agent. That's their starting 5. Literally everybody is signed for 2 years, and then they're a free agent. Now, they're going to extend some of these guys, but can they get guys to take discounts to keep the band together so they keep everybody? That seems unlikely. If they get that done, and I get there's a certain logic to it. Yeah, it's the logic you apply when you're not the one who's taking less money. That's the logic. But maybe they'll do it. Brady took less in New England. It helped them put a better team around him. Then he wins more championships, and he becomes a legend and lands a massive job in TV. I think there's a lot to be said in the NBA and in the NFL. Maybe in hockey, but it's a slightly different beast, and I haven't seen enough of it. I have to defer to Mike Folter or some of the guys, maybe Cole, when he comes on with us, and talk to him about who takes less. They sign such long-term contracts. I just don't think there's that much of that going on. But in the NBA, when you have somebody on a rookie contract like Chet Holmgren, man, it makes the math a lot easier, right? He's still in that deal and not making that much money. In a weird way, Lou Dort is lucky that he was undrafted because he made it and then he got paid. I mean, he's making $55 million over 3 years here. And when he comes up, he'll get paid again. Only money, it looks like, can pull the Thunder apart. And you look around the league, there's so many teams dealing with long-term injuries. I mean, if you had any question, and you really shouldn't at this point, but if you have any question about whether we're going to see more players – load management, rest, taking games off in the regular season, it can irritate you. It irritates me. That irritates me way more than all the three-pointers. Is they turn on a game, and then the guys I want to see aren't playing. Well, what's the point of that? Well, the point of that is that NBA front office types and the NBA, the doctors, the trainers, the whole sports science, sports medicine staff, they're looking at all these guys going down, and you're like, well, it's a bunch of Achilles injuries. I mean, what are you supposed to do? How do you prevent the Achilles injuries when these guys are playing this much hoop and they're expected to make this many explosive cuts every time down the floor on defense and then again on offense? And probably more on defense than on offense. At least on offense, you know where you're going. This is 3 Achilles injuries to star players in the postseason. Damian Lillard went down first. Jason Tatum went down second. And now Tyrese Halliburton goes down third. And that doesn't count Kyrie blowing out his ACL late in the regular season. So there's 4 teams that at some level we're hoping to contend. I mean, are they all legit championship contenders? Probably not. I mean, nobody thought Indiana was a legit championship contender. And they ended up in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So I guess they are a legit contender. And if the Pacers are, I guess if Dallas wants to think of themselves that way, I don't. You probably don't. Maybe you do. You probably don't. But they do. They think they're contenders. And Boston is definitely a contender. And Milwaukee, we'll see what they do with Giannis. Does he want to wait out the end of Lillard's deal and free up some money and see what they go do in 2 years? Lillard's got 2 years left on his deal and it doesn't look like he's going to play in one of them. And, he's in his mid-30s now and he's a smaller guy. That's a difficult combination. So there's the NBA. The postseason has begun. The Kevin Durant trade can't become official until July. You're not going to see any confirmation from the teams. They have to get to their new year. The NFL goes through the same song and dance. It's tied into all the rules of the collective bargaining agreement. I don't fully understand it. I just know that it is. So expect that. And similarly with draft night, we may hear about trades that the teams don't announce. We did talk draft today. It seems like there's a consensus going. Flag's been number 1 for a while. Harper's been number 2 for a long time also. But now it looks like VJ Edgecombe has really settled in as the 3rd pick. And I think he'll be the 3rd pick whether Philly keeps the pick or whether they trade it. I think they'll keep it. I think I would keep it if I were them. I get the temptation to trade it and add a veteran to that core. And, maybe Tyrese Maxey will be healthy and Paul George will be healthy and Joel Embiid will be healthy. And maybe wild monkeys will fly over South Mountain and swoop low into – it just doesn't seem likely, does it? It's going to go to a movie line there, but it's not completely appropriate. But if you know the line, you know where I'm going. Those wild monkeys came from where? Yes, exactly. If the Sixers do trade for veteran help, well, the Jazz have some veterans. I assume they've already had conversations. I think the Sixers would say no. I think I would say no if I were the Sixers. I think if you really believe in a young player, and maybe they don't, and if they don't, then trade it. But if there's a player they believe in, and it seems like the consensus is VJ Edgecombe is the guy to believe in. Knippel now seems to be settling into the 4th pick. I don't feel as sure about that. I feel like that's probable. I feel like Edgecombe is 90% drafted 3rd, 9% drafted 4th, and there's like a 1% chance he could slip. I guess you got to leave 1% open because crazy things happen, but I just don't see how. I think he goes 3. And if Knippel is 4, Bailey's falling, and PK came in a month ago and said he talked to somebody who he trusts, who knows what the Jazz are thinking, and that Ace Bailey isn't really in their plans. Now, that was before Austin showed up. Maybe Austin feels differently. My guess is he doesn't. So is that an opportunity to trade back and let somebody else take Bailey, or do you take – I think trading back's a little risky, but hey, I'm not the one calling the shots. Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fears, or the big 7-footer out of Duke, Malowich. So those seem to be the guys in the mix. Seems like there's 2 at the top, and then there's a group of 6. And Edgecombe seems to be at the top. So I guess you could say there's 3 at the top and a group of 5, however you want to finesse that. So that's where we're sitting on the draft right now, and that's where we're sitting on the Durant trade. Man, only having to give up 1 pick, you got to like that. And Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, I think the risk is that Jalen Green blows up, or that they hit a total home run at number 10. I would say the best thing the Suns got in that deal was probably Green, if they can make him a more efficient shooter. And maybe they can, maybe they can't. But you have to give up something to get Durant. The other news, man, college sports. The University of Wisconsin filed a lawsuit Friday claiming that the Miami Hurricanes football program broke the law by tampering with a Badger football player, labeled Student Athlete A. Believed to be freshman defensive back Xavier Lucas, who left Wisconsin and enrolled at Miami in January after saying the Badger staff refused to enter his name in the transfer portal in December. Tampering is a big thing. I think it's like negative recruiting. Everybody knows it's happening. Everybody can tell you how it's happening to them, but nobody they know is doing it, except the math on that is somebody must be doing it because it's happening to you. Maybe it's just a matter of how brazen you are, right? I mean, we've had basketball coaches say, okay, it's okay to tamper with players on my roster in February, but not in January. And then, of course, we have on UVU's coach says, well, let me tell you a story about how his friend, calls him in November. Hey, I hate to do this, but I got to ask about your player. Everybody else is asking, and I don't want to do it to you, but I can't be left out. Great. In November. What do you think? And he's like, I don't know what I think yet. It's 5 games into the season. Ask me 15 or 25 games in the season, I'll tell you what I think. It's too early. The tampering is rampant. It seems kind of hilarious. But I love these lawsuits. I love when everyone's getting down and dirty. I always want them to get to depositions because all kinds of crazy things can be asked. It's like you just start pulling on the cord, and then you find out more stuff, and you find out more stuff. Let the dirt flow. Let's go. Entertain me. And that almost never happens. 999 times out of 1,000, it doesn't happen. And 1 time out of 1,000, it does. An investigation into real estate deals with Whitewater leads to stories about an intern in the Oval Office. That's the 1 time out of 1,000. But most of these things get settled. So we'll see if Wisconsin and Miami settle it. I think what comes out of the lawsuit is these guys are employees, and they need employee contracts that have buyouts in them, just like coaches have. Coaches are taken off at the drop of a hat, but they have buyouts and there's compensation. And so the players need compensation. And if Utah Tech and Southern Utah and Weber State are going to take these players who are overlooked, develop them, and have someone come in and rip them off, and I've had that conversation with somebody who works at Utah State who can sit there and just list, here's who went to CSU, here's who went to Wyoming, here's who went to San Jose State. They can go right down the list. Our coaches are recruiting good players and developing them. And you know who knows that? Every other coach of college football. And honestly, they're probably looking at Utah Tech because Utah Tech's head coach was at Stanford as a coordinator and did a great job. So everybody knows what they're doing is like, oh, yeah, let's watch this guy. He's got an eye for talent, and he knows how to develop it. So let him be compensated. Utah Tech could use a little more money, a little cash. How about a little something for the effort? Let's go. You know what they need? A dome on everything because it is hot on campus in the summer. ASU and Utah Tech and UNLV, those three schools just need to be domed. The whole thing, the football stadium, the baseball, everything. Just a massive dome. Got a few people here listening. You guys ever see a movie called Logan's Run? Super average and probably 50 years old, maybe 60. Plot of the movie is that you live a fabulous life. Life is borderline perfect. But the only way to do it with limited resources is everybody lives until they're 30 and then they're killed and basically recycled, I think. And so Logan's Run is a dude taking off because he doesn't want to, at 29, he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they were in, I remember the art for the movie. I really don't even remember that much about the movie. I remember the art for the movie. It looked like they escaped from a gigantic dome. Big enough to cover the ASU campus. All right, other stuff we hit on. Man, Shohei Ohtani, he's coming back. One more inning of work. They're being very careful with him. He threw 18 pitches, struck out 2 batters. Got a guy to pop out, and they dropped the pop-up, but he's Shohei. It doesn't matter. He's got the third out. No problems here. Dodgers end up beating the Washington Nationals 13-7. Honestly, this isn't even the game I grew up with. I don't even recognize it. You got all these bullpen days. Oh, this is staff day. It's a pen day. We don't even have a starter. I grew up in an era, this will be weird, but starting pitchers were rock stars. They were celebrities. When the pitcher, whoever your pitcher was, whoever your guy was, when he ran out there, you just felt like, we got this. This is the guy. And people picked the game they went to, not on their schedule, but on the rotation. Oh, I want to, in L.A., they wanted to see Fernando. In San Francisco, they want to see Juan Marichal. In San Diego, they want to see Randy Jones. And later days, Greg Maddux in Atlanta and John Smoltz. And, man, now it's just like, yeah, it's the World Series, but we're going to have a bullpen day. No big deal. We'll win it anyway. Analytics, they figured it out. Everybody throw hard, and we'll throw it's like an all-star game. We'll throw 7 guys over the course of 9 innings. Some guys will go 2, most guys will go 1, and we'll just keep switching it up, and we'll blow out everybody's elbow ligaments, and we'll all have Tommy John together, and we'll have 15, 18 guys on the pitching staff. No big deal. That's baseball today. They used to have 9 players, 9 or 10 pitchers on staffs. Everything's changed. Shohei Ohtani, 1 inning. They will gradually ramp him up. Meanwhile, it all worked. Ohtani starts. It's a bullpen day, and they win 13-7. Yak, your Mariners beat the Cubs 14-6. Are you actually believing? Is there some hope, Yak?
Belief with the Mariners? DJ, come on now.
I know. Ever since that, it's been 20 years plus since that 116-win season yielded.
That was 2001. Yeah.
So it's 24 years now since 116 wins yield bubkiss in the postseason.
They made the postseason a couple of years ago, which broke that drought. But, yes, they need to prove something to me in the postseason before I really buy in.
You're over 500. There's 8 teams over 500, and 6 of them go to the playoffs. So you're saying there's a chance.
There is a chance. We got Big Dumper on our side, so I will take that.
You beat the Cubs 2 out of 3, and Cal Raleigh homered 4 times in 3 games. Leads the majors with 31 dingers.
He's absolutely crushing the baseball. Like, we're talking, the only guy who's done this in Mariners history is a guy that they known as the Kid, a.k.a. Ken Griffey Jr.
Wow, look at you. Just blow right through A-Rod there.
Well, no, I'm serious. Like, you look at the numbers.
And he's past A-Rod.
He's past A-Rod.
Well, I mean, to be fair, A-Rod wasn't roided up in the Seattle era.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And they say, like,
came later.
If you look at Griffey's 95 through 99 seasons, he
on fire.
Hit 29, 30, 31, and 32 home runs, I think, before the All-Star break, and that's what Cal Raleigh is doing right now.
Crushing it. 31 home runs. Judge has 27. Ohtani has 26. Look at Cal. He's Superman. You worried about a positive test up there?
Always. Come on now.
Okay.
It's the Mariners' lot in life to just have something good go for a second.
We can't have nice things.
And then it gets torn away from you, yeah.
I know. PK always gives us a hard time because we're so negative about our teams. But you know why we're down? It's all the losing.
History suggests it's going to go down.
I got to look it up. I think the Padres have 4 90-win seasons in 56 years of baseball. That's not good. 4 not 100-win seasons. They've never had a 100-win season. Why do I expect bad things to happen? You know, if the playoffs started today, the Padres would miss.
That would stink.
Right? Well, they're not in the top 6 in the West right now. The Giants have moved past them.
No, they still got
Phillies and Mets, the Cubs and the Brewers. There's your playoff teams.
We officially hit the halfway mark this week, if I recall correctly. It was going to be 81 games. So
Padres got to ramp it up. I'm not saying they can't. They just got to do it. Well, we got to wait for all the deadline deals. I mean, we're getting to the point now where we're kind of settled in here, and we'll see. Okay, DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. You are up to speed. Coming up next, your feedback. Stay with us.
And it's all over almost here.
Don't go nowhere.
Nominate the U Sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week. Submit your nomination at kslsports.com/contest. Listen every Thursday afternoon to JJ and Alex for the winner. Help us celebrate the efforts of those volunteers making an impact with the Hercules Hero of the Week, which is sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and our friends at Beehive Meals.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. It is time for your feedback. Everything you think about this show. Oklahoma City wins the NBA championship. Is a dynasty on the horizon. Captain Cody, I think it's time to move on from basketball and focus on football. Come on, Dave. 68 days away. 68 days is a long time, Captain Cody. Captain Cody, I've been doing radio for many years now, and let me tell you, time really passes slowly on the radio waiting for football. Summer flies by, meanwhile. I mean, there's not enough time to golf. There's not enough time to vacation, to go to the beach, to go to the lake, go to the mountains, whatever it is you do. There's not enough time. Summer flies by. It's my favorite season. But then on the radio, everything slows down. He hit me with the Sandlot gift. You're killing me, Smalls. Which is a great line. And the actor who played Smalls, they've come back to town. And they did a thing, actually I think it's a 30-year reunion now, but I think it was either 20 or 25. And I went out to Smith Ballpark and interviewed him. And I asked the actor about that line, you're killing me, Smalls. And he said, that line has followed me. I mean, there's supposed to be a line between the character and the actor, but there isn't. And even though I was a kid and now I've grown up and I'm an adult, that line still follows me. He said that he was driving, and he was in a slide fender bender. He was at fault. Tapped the car in front of him, pulled over. He says it wasn't, it wasn't a high-speed, fenders flying, cars coming apart, spinning around. It wasn't that kind of thing, but there was contact, and you got to pull over, and he's not hit-and-run guy, right? He pulls over. Guy gets out of the car in front of him, looks right at him. He's feeling bad because he knows it's his fault, and he's glad it wasn't any worse. And he looks at him. Guy getting out of the car looks at him without missing a beat. You're killing me, Smalls. Minor fender bender. And a dude getting out of the car drops the line on him. So I just sent him back the late, great James Earl Jones with the shades on, giggling and laughing. Love Sandlot drops. Can't get enough of the Sandlot gifts. Well played, Captain Cody. Well played. You got to deal with a little more basketball because we've got the trades that are inevitably going to be around this draft on Wednesday and Thursday. Now, I don't think there's much to free agency. We get to the new cap year. Stuff can be announced. Some stuff we'll know about, like the Kevin Durant deal. There might be some stuff cooking that we don't know specifically about. But I think, we get to like July 10 to 15, somewhere in there, and then basketball is over. And it is on to football. And the Big 12 Media Days are looming out there. So it will be football soon enough. Soon enough. Other topic this morning, how much do you care that the Utah Grizzlies are for sale and may relocate? Ryan, they provided some high-end hockey during the IHL era. Things went downhill when Tim Mauser left. It'd be good if the Mammoth could set their AHL franchise there. That would be interesting in the long run. minor league prices and major league prices can be different. And so there can be room for the two to exist next to each other. Certainly that's happening in the LA area with two Major League Baseball teams and the Class A California there and the east side. You get out to like Lake Elsinore and places like that. Man, it's a long haul and big prices when you get there to go to a Dodger Angel game. So I think we see that in Denver and Colorado Springs. They're not separated by much. I don't know if the East Center in West Valley is the perfect place for minor league hockey. It might be. Will the Olympics in 2034 provide some new facility that would be attractive in Ogden or Provo? With all the tech money in Provo. It's a different crowd for minor leagues and major leagues. So I wouldn't completely rule it out. I do think in this case, with the longtime owner passing away and his wife's health isn't great. So I do think they're going to I'm sure they're going to get sold, and I'm pretty sure they're going to move. I don't think they would have thrown that out there in a press release. Which is essentially what it was. It's modern press release, putting everything out on social media. But it was a statement from the team last night. And, I suspect they're gone. And Kerry says, I care. I care a lot. There aren't a lot of people who go to the games, but for people who do, I get it. John, who? Okay, so John's not one of those people who go. Billy, I care a lot. It's a fantastic venue and a comparatively cheap family night out. It'll sting to lose them. Billy, I get that. I hear you, Billy. It will. Business is business, and they're in a tough spot. It will be interesting to see if another minor league team comes back in. We've talked so much about the team. We haven't had enough opportunities to talk with Bill about what he thinks about the way the minor leagues should be configured. And obviously, when they were in Phoenix, it made sense to have the AHL team in Tucson. Do they keep it there? Does that team end up moving? All TBD. Jaden, it's more okay now that the Mammoths are here. I get it, Jaden. You went to that arena, you saw that team, you got good memories, you'd like them to stick around, but you're all on board with the NHL. There is no question that celebrity draws, and whatever you think of baseball, man, when Major League Baseball gets here, and whatever you thought of the Bees, it's going to be Bees times 100 or times 500 or times 1,000. You just can't add the brand names, the celebrities. Can you imagine what it's going to be like to get a ticket when Ohtani comes through town? The Mariners came here and played one game with the Rockies, and the place was packed for an exhibition game. Packed. Major League brand names matter. I mean, the Mariners and Rockies aren't exactly at the top of the brand name power list in Major League Baseball, but we were so happy to get it. The Dodgers are going to sell, but I think the Giants are going to pack the place when they show up here. Rob, this is pretty sad. I love going to games at the Maverick Center. This team is awesome. No, Ron. Well, it was only time. With the Mammoths here, this is bound to happen. Yep. Ron has resigned himself to the inevitable. All right, DJ and PK, we got to take a break. Jake and Ben coming up. Ben's standing right here. He's ready to go. Jake's somewhere on a golf course with a club in his hand, so Ben's going to have to do another segment with me. Sorry, Ben. DJ and Ben right after the break. Jake will be here when he wraps up 18, when he's good and ready. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.